prospects of another fine ball game here at Dodger Stadium as the folks are filing in to see the Dodgers and the Rockies in their final game of the 3-game series. Rockies trying to stay alive. They've lost 5 of 6, and the Dodgers meanwhile have won 7 straight. Here are the way Rockies line up. Dexter Fowler in center, Ian Stewart in left, and Todd Helton at first. Garrett Atkins is cleanup at third. Brad Hopp, a Dodger tormentor, is in right field. Troy Tulowitzki at short. Clint Barmas at second base. Chris Iannetta fighting it, but he's a fine defensive catcher, batting 8th. And Ubaldo Jimenez on the mound. On the mound for the Dodgers, young James McDonald. McDonald last time out, first 2 innings were perfect, and then all of a sudden things occurred and he was out of there. This will be the first time he has faced the Rockies. He's 24 years old, his second major league start. In Arizona, he was charged with 5 runs, 2 hits, and 3 walks in 2 1/3 innings. So James, who came out of the bullpen on the 16th, now comes back as a starting pitcher. He's the first rookie to enter the opening Dodger rotation since Hiroki Kuroda. And, of course, one of the big reasons he's here and pitching is the fact that Kuroda is sidelined. Right now, the Rockies checking in with the leadoff man, Dexter Fowler. Fowler, the youngster out of Alpharetta, Georgia, by way of Atlanta. Good young ball player, hitting .308, and swings at the first one, doesn't get it, and the count 0-1. Fowler, like the rest of the Rockies, cooling off on a long road trip, hitting .231. He is 2 for 8 in this series, and he takes 1 ball and 1 strike. The Rockies have been struggling. They also head for Arizona for the second time in 3 weeks. And then they'll go on home, and the Dodgers will see them next weekend. The pitch to Fowler is high, and a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Clint Hurdle, the skipper of the Rockies, and we got to tell you a Sunday story about Cliff and the number 64. The pitch is low, 3-1 to count to Dexter Fowler. Clint Hurdle was visiting ill youngsters in a Colorado hospital as Fowler swings and doesn't get it, 3-2. And he was visiting with a 14-year-old boy, and he knew the boy was terminal, but he spent some time chatting with him, and finally he said to the youngster, "What number did you wear when you were playing ball?" Fowler fouls a pitch off, and the youngster said, "Number 64. And Clint said, "Okay." That night, when he went to make out his lineup, Clint Hurdle wrote 64 on top of the lineup card. Fowler hits a towering pop foul back a third down the line. Casey Blake one way, lunges and makes the catch for the out. So Fowler popping up a tough play, and Casey Blake makes the play. So quickly, let's get back to Clint Hurdle. He makes out the lineup card, and he puts number 64 at the top of the card, turns it in. That game, they're playing Washington, and the Rockies are down by 4 runs in the bottom of the 9th. And you guessed it, they turned around and won the game. Every day after that, Clint Hurdle wrote 64 on the top of his lineup card. And the pitch to Ian Stewart hits him, and just like that, the Rockies have a runner. Well, what happened with 64 on the lineup card? Well, they eventually wound up in the division series and won. Kept putting 64 on the card. They went into the league championship with 64, and they won that, and got into the World Series, and a near miss there. On every card there was number 64. Stewart goes on a pitch that's juggled and almost dropped by Martin, so Stewart steals second base with 1 out in the first inning. So one of the great years in Rockies history, and Clint writing that number. By the way, the boy eventually passed on. All right, Stewart hit by a pitch, steals second, and with 1 out, Todd Helton trying to pick him up. Helton struggling in 91-degree weather here, and Todd fouls it away, 1-1. For Colorado, on a road trip that saw temperature usually around 52, and Helton with a surgically repaired back, etc., So if nothing else, the Rockies have thawed out in this series, but they'll be going home, and they got 1 to 3 feet of snow in Denver. McDonald very high with the next pitch, and Martin going out to talk to him. For Todd Helton, when you realize how great a player he has been, it must be maddening. I mean, he did things without even thinking in his heyday. Now it is a struggle, understandably. He's 36 in August, but I mean, you're looking at a player who hit as many as 49 home runs, had as many as 147 runs batted in. Out of a stretch goes McDonald over the top and drops it in there for a strike, and that evens it up. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Todd waiting at the plate, a franchise player for sure, signed a 9-year deal. He'll be there through 2012. 2-2 pitch, slow breaking ball off the plate. 3-2 the count to Todd Helton. Helton hitting 188 is a surprise because he was swinging the bat so well in spring training. So Todd waiting with a light breeze blowing to right field. Out of his stretch is McDonald. Next pitch is swung on and foul back. If you joined us a little late, Dexter Fowler popped it up to Casey Blake. Ian Stewart hit by a pitch and stole second. The Rockies striking out a lot of late. 48 strikeouts in their last 4 games, with 14 strikeouts with a runner in scoring position. Now the 3-2 pitch coming up. McDonald ready. It is swung on and fouled away. By the way, in talking about 91-degree weather here in Los Angeles, in Denver, Colorado, currently as we speak, 44 degrees with snow on the ground. So we are blessed with baseball weather out here, just as long as you wear a hat and bring a lot of sunblock. 3-2 pitch. Helton swings and misses. Down he goes. 15 strikeouts with runners in scoring position now for the Rockies. And with 2 down, the batter is Garrett Atkins. So again, in thinking about Helton, the price of being great must be something. You are a great player. You do things effortlessly without thinking, home runs, RBIs. And then you get to a stage where you try so hard and you can't come close to what used to be so easily done. Garrett Atkins, the Bruin, takes ball 1. 1-0 the count to Garrett. Atkins, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, hitting just 200. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way, and that's in for a strike, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count. For the Dodgers, this has been a wonderful week. Well, almost a week. They have a 7-game winning streak. It started in Arizona when they won 2 in a row, and they've won 5 straight at home. The 1-1 pitch is high, ball 2. Dodgers starting 5-0. It's the first time they've done that at home since 2005. The Dodger record for consecutive wins at home to start a season 6 back in 1969. 2-1 breaking ball, a strike. 2-2 the count. The franchise record for the Dodgers, a 9-0 start at Ebbets Field way back in 1946. The 47 club went 8-0 at Ebbets Field to start the year. 2-2 pitch is fouled off. You look at the Dodger record, they are 9-3. That's the best start through 12 since 2005 when they were 10-2. The Dodgers in 05 would start the year 12-2, but they would finish 4th, 20 games under 500. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and that is low. So it's great to start, but as Manny Ramirez keeps saying, it's not where you are when you start, it's where you are when you finish. A long season ahead. 3-2 the count to Garrett Atkins with Brad Hopp on deck. There goes Stewart to third, and the pitch is lifted to right field. Epia running to his left, just about to the foul line, and makes the catch for the out. No runs, no hits, a man left, and at the end of half an inning, Rockies nothing, Dodgers coming up. In the first inning, and the Dodgers coming up now. We'll take a look at Joe Torre's lineup. No dramatic changes at all. Rafael Furcal, followed by Orlando Hudson and Manny Ramirez. The one change today, Andre Ethier and then James Loney. Usually they're separated, but they're back-to-back on the lineup. Russell Martin, Matt Kemp, Casey Blake, and James McDonald. On the mound for Colorado would be Ubaldo Jimenez, 6'4", 215 from the Dominican. In the minor league, somewhat of a wild man. He had a wild pitch about every other game he pitched, 64 in 138 games. And the big guy works at low ball 1-0. He's made 3 previous starts at Dodger Stadium, and would you believe his earned run average here is over 11, and he is 1-0 in his career. The pitch is low, ball 2. In fact, he's a perfect 2-0 against the Dodgers last year and 4-0 in his career. Rafael waiting, takes a look at a pitch off the plate, ball 3. Furcal, as you know, led off with a home run for the 24th time the other night, 12th time as a Dodger. Jimenez comes back with a good fastball in for a strike. The last game Jimenez pitched, it was not 91. It was anything but. It was freezing in Chicago, and it affected him. 3-1 fastball is a strike. He throws fastball, but he also has a splitter, and a good one. But his hands were so cold, he just could not pitch in Chicago. As we mentioned, he's from the Dominican. 3-2 pitch on the way, a low fastball, and Furcal is aboard. We'll take a look at the Rockies defensively. They shape up this way with Stewart, Fowler, and Hopp in the outfield. Atkins, Tulowitzki, Barmes, and Helton on the infield, and the battery of Jimenez and Chris Iannetta. So a runner at first as Jimenez walks the first man, and the batter will be Orlando Hudson. One thing about Jimenez, he makes a lot of pitches. He has walked 9 and he has struck out 13. So we'll see what Hudson does with him, as Orlando hitting .354 checks in. Another successful occupant of the floor above Ramirez. And the pitch to Orlando, ball 1. When you look over the past, ever since Manny's here, you can see the tremendous effect he has had on the hitter in front of him. Hudson, for instance, is hitting .364 with 7 walks in those games with Manny behind him. Andre Ethier hit number 2 ahead of Ramirez yesterday, hit 2 home runs. Dodger batters last year hit .383 in front of Manny Ramirez. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way, swung on and fouled away. To break it down, Andre Ethier is hitting .425 in front of Ramirez. Jeff Kent hit .383 in front of him. Russell Martin .321. Blake DeWitt in 2 games .444. Juan Pierre in 2 games .375. Now the 1-1 pitch on the way, that's taken for a strike, and the count 1-2. Interesting, the fellow who has not profited just 1 game hitting in front of Ramirez 1 for 4, that would be Matt Kemp, who has a 12-game hitting streak. 1-2 to Orlando for call off the bag. Jimenez delivers, and that's low, and 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ubaldo's hero when he was a little kid in the Dominican was Pedro Martinez, and when he made his major league debut, he had his father move in and be his roommate for the rest of the year. Right-hander ready for call, goes, and there's a drive into right center field, and there's nobody there. It'll roll to the wall. Call will score, and the O-Dog will settle for a double, and the Dodgers are on the scoreboard leading 1-0. For Orlando Hudson, 3 doubles, 2 triples, and 2 home runs. What a buy. Takes a pitch that seemed to be tailing away from him and pulled it into the gap in right center. And here comes Manny with first base open. It took Manny a little while to finally hit a home run against Colorado. He had homered against every team in the major leagues but the Rockies, and then yesterday he hit 2. 54 times in his career he's had a multi-home run game, tied for Frank Robinson, 1 behind Jimmy Fox and Ken Griffey Jr. By the way, he now has 529 home runs. Here comes Jimenez, and a big swing and a miss. Manny acting like he got a pitch he felt he should drive, and he missed. Nothing will drive a hitter crazier than getting a pitch that he feels he can drive, unless he's caught looking at a pitch he feels he can drive. 0-1 to Manny Ramirez, hitting .308, 2 home runs, 7 runs batted in. Hudson at second base, nobody out. Manny pulls away a pitch at the shins. 1 ball and 1 strike. So the Dodgers sitting on top of the world, at least for the moment. But again, remember that one note. That is a caution. The Dodgers of 2005 started the year 12-2 and wound up 4th. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way. Jimenez delivers, fastball strike, and a 1-2 count to Manny. Ramirez, with all of his talent, facing Jimenez, not blistering the ball because they walk him so much. Manny has walked 14 times, but he has an on-base percentage of almost 500. It's up to 491. 1-2 the count to Manny. Jimenez, a high setup around his nose, and the next pitch punched on the ground to the right side. Hudson must have lost it, because on that ground ball he would normally have gone over to third. I'm not sure whether Orlando just didn't know what happened. We'll watch him on the replay. He's taking his lead and took 1 step towards third and then went back to the bag, afraid, I'm sure, that Barmes might go after him. So Ramirez grounds to the right side but fails to advance his runner. The O-Dog is still out there at second, and the batter is Andre Ethier. Ethier coming off a 2 home run game yesterday. He has 4 home runs, 13 runs batted in, hitting .279. Jimenez delivers, and the pitch is low, ball 1, 1-0. In looking at Jimenez and his work against the Dodgers in the past, Andre Ethier 2 for 13, 1 of the 2 hits a home run. On deck, James Loney, and he has not done much in the past against him. Fastball away, ball 2. Matt Kemp, who has that 12-game hitting streak and who bats after Martin, he's hitting .400 against Jimenez. So Matt just sits back and waits his turn. Now the 2-0 pitch on the way. Jimenez delivers, fastball foul back. He's got a good fastball and a very good splitter. Also has a curve and a slider, but the splitter is the one. Ubaldo looks in to get a sign. 2-1 the count to Andre Ethier. The old dog out there at second with one out. Tulowitzki bird dogging him directly behind him to take a step away, and now Jimenez turns, and that sends Hudson back to the bag. Jimenez figures to be around a while. In January, he signed a 4-year deal with options for 2013 and 2014. Now the pitch is whacked foul outside of first and down the line, and the count stays 2-2. So Andre Ethier, each day that he plays, more respect around the league for him. He is a multi-talented young player. That was quite a favorable deal for the Dodgers to trade Milton Bradley to Oakland and get Andre Ethier. 2-2 the count to Andre. Dodgers lead 1-0 here in the first inning. Jimenez a high set, and there goes Hudson to third on a line drive base hit into right center. Hudson will score, and that's going to go to the wall. Ethier is into second base to stop with a double, and just like that, the Dodgers lead 2-0. And boy, he hit a rocket over the outstretched arms of Clint Barmas.
Welcome to the plate, first baseman number 7, James Loney.
So for Ubaldo Jimenez, double trouble. He walks for call, and Hudson doubles him in. He gets Ramirez, but Ethier just doubles in Hudson. And the Dodgers leading 2-0. James Loney will be coming up, and a brief meeting at the mound. So the Dodgers, as they usually do, hitting Jimenez, but they don't have anything to show for it. He's 2-0 and 4-0 lifetime against them. One other problem for the Rockies as Orlando visits with his mates. The Rocky relievers have already given up 9 home runs this year. So here's James Loney hitting .250 against Jimenez, .295 against the league. Dodgers lead 2-0 first inning, and there's a hopper slowly to short. Tulowitzki will gun it to first, and with the ball hit ahead of him, Ethier had to hang at the bag. And the batter now will be Russell Martin.
Dodger catcher number 55.
Loney grounds out, and Martin coming up. Russell Martin 4 for 12. That would be a .333 batting average against Jimenez. So Martin checks in. 2 out, 2 in, 1 on. Dodgers lead 2-0. Jimenez out of a stretch. Another look at second. Now to the plate. Fastball off the plate. Ball 1, 1-0. Russell Martin hitting .211. No home runs. 5 runs batted in. Waiting his turn on deck, Matt Kemp. The 1-0 pitch on the way, and that's taken low and off the plate. Ball 2, 2-0. Jimenez, a good pitcher. Last year, he became only the 5th Colorado right-hander to win at least 12 in a season. Interesting, too, in breaking down his record of 12-12 last year, he allowed 3 runs or less in 27 of his 34 starts. And he's done that so far again this year, but he's in a hole with the Dodgers scoring twice here in the first inning. Jimenez out of a stretch, and Martin meanwhile backs out. 2 balls, no strikes. Jimenez in his early going tipped off his pitches. Now he's low again, ball 3. He had a very funky delivery, and it was pretty easy. It's amazing what pitchers will do. I was told the other day about a former player looking out at a star pitcher. Here's the 3-0 pitch, swung on and fouled away, 3-1. The star pitcher would look in and get a sign. If it was a fastball, he would tap his leg once. If it was a breaking ball, he'd tap his leg twice. It was Mark Grace telling me the story, and Grace said I couldn't believe it. And I watched and I watched, and it worked. All I had to do is walk up to the plate and watch him tip it off. 3-1 the count to Russell Martin. Jimenez delivers high, ball 4. So he is struggling still. And the Dodgers now send their 7th man to the plate here in the first inning in Matt Kemp.
Coming to the plate, center fielder number 27, Matt Kemp.
Matt with a 12-game hitting streak. Remember, James Loney had a 15-game streak to start last year. Matt, the only Dodger who has hit safely in each of the 12. St. Louis, Chris Duncan, the big outfielder, son of the pitching coach, Dave Duncan. He's also hit in 12 straight. So here's Matt. 2 on, 2 out, 2 in. And the runners go, and the pitch is fouled back. I guess what you could say about Jimenez, at 6'4", he has a very long delivery. We used to say it was funky, but it is a lengthy delivery. Hudson was going to steal third when Ethier doubled him in, and the Dodgers immediately wanted to double steal him, except that Matt Kemp fouled it off, 0-1. So it's taking Jimenez a long time to get the ball to the mound. And the strike 1 pitch on the way, swung on and missed, 0-2. Good fastball. One thing about Jimenez, when he brings his hands together in a stop position, he brings them together up at his nose. So it takes him a little while then to drop his hands down, turn that big body, big long sweeping right arm, and they're trying to take advantage of it. Strike 2 pitch is fouled away. Boy, if there's one thing they will do, they will concentrate. They'll put a pitcher under a microscope. Another problem he had in his earlier days, and heck, that's like yesterday afternoon, really. He's been with the Rockies since '06. He has a lot of trouble repeating the same delivery. This will be his 30th pitch, so he's had ample opportunity to repeat. Strike 2 pitch, and it is taken for strike 3 called. I think that was the splitter outside part of the plate, and Kemp off looking. However, the Dodgers did more than look. They put up a deuce, and at the end of an inning, lead 2-0. On 2-0 at the end of an inning. Boy, have they enjoyed home cooking. The Dodgers, since last year, have won 28 out of 37 at Dodger Stadium, naturally much to the delight of their fans. And they jump out 2-0, and we go to the second. For the Rockies trying to recover, it'll be Brad Hopp, Troy Tulowitzki, and Clint Barmes. And Hopp takes off the plate, ball one. Brad came into game one of the series hitting .351 against the Dodgers and promptly hit a 2-run home run his first at bat. He takes one that misses, 1 ball and 1 strike to Brad. Big boy out of Fort Worth, Texas. Gary Sheffield with the Mets is the chief tormentor in the league. And then Matt Holliday, who moved from Colorado to Oakland. Hopp swings, doesn't get it. 1-2 the count to Brad. Troy Tulowitzki on deck. James McDonald, both feet on the rubber, turns, and the stringy right-hander's next pitch is high. McDonald certainly comes by his athletic prowess naturally. His dad played in the NFL. He was a wide receiver. Now the 2-2 pitch on the way, and Hopp, it's a high fly ball to left field. Manny had some trouble yesterday, but not today, as he takes care of it. After he, let's say, had trouble on a couple of balls yesterday, Joe Torre said to him coming in, doesn't look like a Gold Glove this year, Manny. And then Manny started talking about Torrey Hunter has troubles once in a while, and then he said, I don't even have a Silver Glove. There's no such thing. So anyway, 1 away, and here's Troy Tulowitzki, the shortstop, right-hand batter. McDonald hesitates, then blurs a fastball up there for a strike, and the count 0-1. The Rockies striking out a lot, and wouldn't you know, striking out with runners in scoring position, and they showed us that in the first inning as Tulowitzki takes in the dirt with Stewart at second and 1 out. The very reliable Todd Helton came up and struck out. 1-1 the count to Troy Tulowitzki. McDonald comes back off speed inside, maybe a breaking ball that didn't break much. 2-1 the count. James is a big kid. He is 6'5". He'll probably get bigger than 195. And the 2-1 fastball in line to left. Manny goes back. It's over his head. Hits the scoreboard on a bounce. And Manny gets it back in on a line drive double by Troy Tulowitzki. So McDonald's from Long Beach, and Tulowitzki went to Long Beach State. And Troy got a fastball and whacked it. So the 1-out double for Tulowitzki, and that will bring up Clint Barmes. Clint Barmes, the second baseman, checking in at .292, home run, 3 RBIs. McDonald delivers and drops it low and away, ball 1, 1-0. For James McDonald, he was the Dodger minor league pitcher of the year in 07 and 08. Barmes facing him now, the 1-0 pitch on the way. That's popped in the air, foul. Loney fighting that high sky, sunglasses glistening, makes the catch. Tulowitzki holds at second. So Barmes maybe trying to go the other way, but fouls to first. The batter now will be a struggling Chris Iannetta. Iannetta from Providence, Rhode Island. But he doesn't feel very providential right now as he checks in, hitting .048. He has 1 hit this year. By the way, it was a home run. 1 hit in 21 at-bats. And you have the pitcher Jimenez on deck. So McDonald delivers, drops the breaking ball in, but it's high. 1 ball and no strikes. So Iannetta trying to pick up Tulowitzki from second. 1 ball, no strikes. McDonald ready. James back with a pitch that's low. 2 balls and no strikes. McDonald, when he started against Arizona, 2 1/3 innings, only 2 strikeouts. So Iannetta trying to catch up to him here. And the 2-0 pitch on the way. and that's inside. So they don't really want Iannetta, even though he is not hitting, and they're now going to put him on. So Iannetta will get the intentional walk, and the batter will be Ubaldo Jimenez. So the tying runs are aboard, runners at first and second. McDonald going up against his opposition. Dodgers 2 runs, 2 hits. Colorado no runs, 1 hit. Jimenez had a shaky first inning and made 30 pitches. So he's 6'4". McDonald is 6'5". And they play a little jump ball right now. Skins against the shirts. And the first pitch, fastball, it jumps a bit, but it's outside, ball 1. 1-0. Light breeze blowing out towards center. You don't see that too often. Jimenez takes a strike, and the count 1-1. Jimenez holding that bat back of the right ear. McDonald's next pitch is grounded to the hole, backhanded by Furcal. No play, but he prevented a run from scoring. So Ubaldo Jimenez jams one into the bowl, and the bases are loaded with 2 out. And Dexter Fowler coming up. For Jimenez, almost picked up a run batted in. Tulowitzki, because of Furcal, had to stop at third. Rick Dower telling him hold it right there. So a run saving play by Rafael Furcal. Dexter Fowler popped out in the first inning. A twisting high foul ball that almost got away from Casey Blake. And Dexter takes a strike. 0-1. Fowler out of Alpharetta, Georgia. 6'4", 175, and he is way out in front of an off-speed pitch. Came up briefly with the Rockies last year, though he's been on an express train. He turned pro in 05, and he was in the big leagues in 08. 0-2 count. Here comes McDonald, and it's a fastball away, ball 1. So Dexter Fowler, switch hitter, batting left-handed. Up there with the bases loaded. Tulowitzki, Iannetta, and Jimenez on the lines. The 1-2 pitch is outside. Ball 2, 2-2. Fowler had agreed to attend the University of Miami on a scholarship at a high school. He was recruited for both baseball and basketball. Swings, fouls it away. But the Rockies eventually signed him to his first professional career. So the runners get back. Messrs. Tulowitzki, Iannetta, and Jimenez. Slow and very high. A changeup that wasn't even close. 3-2 the count. So for Joe Torre, watching a youngster struggle a little bit here. McDonald trying to get out of the inning. And the pitch with the runners going is swung on and fouled away. Fowler struck out a couple of times Friday night. Though right now he's concerned about making contact on a good pitch. 3-2 to Dexter. Runners go, and here comes the pitch. Swung on and fouled off third. Out of play. So James McDonald, who was certainly a #1 pick in the Dodger organization, having been their minor league pitcher of the year 2 years in a row, against Dexter Fowler, who was certainly a #1 pick in the Colorado organization. Now the 3-2 pitch with the runners going is lined to right. Back on the ball goes Ethier, reaches up and picks it off. So Fowler hits the ball hard, but right at Andre Ethier. No runs, 2 hits, 3 left, and it's still 2-0 Dodgers. Otherwise, the Rockies score at least one, but Furcal saved his bacon, and the Rockies left 3. For James McDonald, however, he has already made 50 pitches in 2 innings. Ubaldo Jimenez out on the mound made 30 pitches in the first inning. So let's put it this way, we are in no hurry out here at Dodger Stadium. The Dodgers leave town tomorrow to go to Houston, then to Colorado, and then to San Francisco before coming home to play San Diego, Arizona, Washington, and San Francisco. By the way, talking about San Diego, they lost today. So the Dodgers with a victory would be all alone in first place. Talking about all alone in first place, how about the Florida Marlins? They've won 6 straight, 5-0 on the road, and the Marlins started the day 10-1. For the Dodgers, Casey Blake will start it off. Made a good play on that twisting pop fly by Fowler in the first inning, and Casey takes a strike. The man from Indianola, Iowa. No balls and 1 strike. Fastball at the knuckles, 1-1 the count. By the way, talking about the Marlins, 10-1. They are tied 4-4 in the 9th inning with the Washington Nationals. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Fouled away, 1-2. Talking about Iowa and the Music Man. Wouldn't you like to have been, just for once, to be Robert Preston singing 76 trombones? The only other one better for me would be to be Gene Kelly doing Singing in the Rain. Oh boy. Meanwhile, Casey takes high. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. We're in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Dodgers lead 2-0. Jimenez ready and comes back 2-2, and that's high, ball 3. So a couple of young right-handers, they throw hard, but they struggle with the strike zone. Jimenez and his 3-2 pitch. Look out, he buries that one. Casey Blake, hit by the pitch, is awarded first base the hard way. And I mean, that was a 3-2 fastball, almost knocked the numbers off his shirt.
Pitcher number 52.
He took his stride into the pitch, then tried to shy away and took it on the edge of the left forearm and then somewhat into the chest. Boy, that thing had to hurt. Todd Helton over to maybe commiserate with a wink or a look, and Casey's aboard. Yeah, remember Ian Stewart was hit by a pitch leading off. James McDonald shows bunt. Count 1 ball and no strikes. Yesterday, in a bunt situation, after the game, Clint Hurdle was annoyed that Seth Smith did not get the bunt down. The 1-0 pitch is a strike, 1-1. If you play for Clint Hurdle, you better get the bunt down, because Clint will sacrifice more than any other manager in the National League. He's led in sacrifices for the last 5 years. It's kind of a surprise. 1-1 pitch, McDonald bunts foul. You would think that the manager of a team playing in the high altitude of Denver would not play sacrifice. However, he has been very successful, and as far as Seth Smith is concerned, I know they talked to him about getting that bunt down when called upon, and Seth watching McDonald up there at the plate. 1-2 the count. Out of a stretch goes Jimenez, and the bunt is down. Good bunt picked up by Helton, lobs it to Barmes, and so McDonald moves the man along. You know, friends, Sundays are Kids Appreciation Days at Dodger Stadium this year, and with the Dodgers 15-game Silver Slugger plan, you can book now to secure your tickets for 6 Webkinz Pet giveaways, one of the hottest toys today. Purchase at Dodgers.com/mini plans or call 866-DODGERS today. Runner at second, 1 away, and here's Rafael Furcal. Walked, scored a run, and saved a run. All in a day's work for Rafael. Jimenez delivers, and Furcal pops it in the air back to third, down the line. Tulowitzki going over, but it's going to land in the stands. Atkins was also there, and Ian Stewart came in to take a look. So no balls and 1 strike. We mentioned it the other night, the rare thing, the fact that in this series we have 2 shortstops who turned in unassisted triple plays. Rafael Furcal and Troy Tulowitzki. Tulowitzki against Atlanta and Furcal against St. Louis when he was playing with Atlanta. Now the strike 1 pitch swung on and fouled back. 0-2 the count. Dodgers in the first inning. Furcal walked. Hudson doubled him home. With 1 out, Ethier doubled Hudson home. So the Dodgers lead 2-0, bottom of the second. 0-2. Strike 2 pitch on the way. Big curveball, got him looking. Oh, talk about falling off the table. That's the kind of a curveball that was. So it started up there and wound up down there. So Furcal is caught looking, and that big rainbow, pretty tough pitch to take. It must have looked like a basketball, but he also must have thought he was out of the strike zone. So the batter now will be Orlando Hudson. Orlando Hudson, the Dodgers knew that they had a good ball player when they picked him up. After all, they had watched him playing so well and so colorfully for Arizona. But even the biggest canine fancier, the old dog, did not realize how he would start for the Dodgers at home. Maybe inspired by the presence of Ramirez hitting back of him, who knows. But during this homestand, he is 11 for 21. That's a .524 average. So they also serve who only stand in the on deck circle. And the strike 1 pitch, and the old dog takes inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Dodgers 2, Rockies nothing, bottom of the second. Dodgers trying to sweep, trying to make it 8 straight, and trying to make it a 6-0 homestand before going out. They're 4-3 on the road. 1-1 pitch on the way. Jimenez delivers, and that's whacked into right. Base hit. Hop has a very good arm. Here comes a throw, but with scoring Blake, and down to second goes Hudson. So Orlando, a line drive base hit to right field, and the Dodgers lead 3-0. So Hop, who usually has a lot of assists out there in right field. One thing, of course, that helped Casey Blake and the Dodgers, the base hit occurred with 2 out. And, of course, at 2 out, you go on contact. So Blake makes it, and on the throw to the plate, Hudson advances to second, and here comes Manny. Well, he had first base open with the Dodgers leading 3-0. For Orlando, he has driven in 2. And for Hudson now, he has 7 runs batted in. Manny has 7 RBIs. Grounded out in the first inning. Jimenez ready, delivers, turns him away with a fastball at the point of the left shoulder. 1 ball and no strikes. Remember, the Dodgers owe Jimenez. He's made 3 starts here. He has 1 win and no loss. And his earned run average is over 11. 1 ball and no strikes. Over 11 in those 3 starts. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way, and that's taken just off the plate. So it was up and in, then down and away, and he's behind 2-0. Not sure if they want much of Ramirez, but all of a sudden Ethier is growing by pitch, and he's on deck. 2 balls and no strikes to Manny. And he takes good splitter on the inside part of the plate, and the count 2-1. Well, Baldo Jimenez is a large asset for the Rockies off the field. He's from the Dominican, but he speaks perfect English, so he's a very good bridge for management to other Hispanic players. Fastball is hit in the air to right center, but it's playable. Dexter Fowler on the run picks it off. The Dodgers leave Hudson but scored Blake. And at the end of 2, Dodgers 3, Rockies nothing.
Great food selections from Coca-Cola, Anheuser-Busch, Parmesan Dodger Dogs, Miller Beer, Dodgers Blue Spring Water, Cacique, California Chips, Carl's Jr., Churros, Camacho Cantina, Friars Grand Ice Cream, Gordon Biersch, Brooklyn Dodgers Pizza, Sparklets Water, Wetzel's Pretzels, Melissa Specialty Produce.
Well, so far we should note we've had 2 innings and we've seen 100 pitches. Each young right-hander has made 50 pitches in the first 2 innings. And now we go to the third, 3-0 Dodgers. We can tell you how the Padres lost to the Phillies today. Raul Ibanez had a game-winning 2-run home run in the bottom of the 9th. Meanwhile, Ian Stewart swings, doesn't get it. 0-1. So with a 2-run home run in the 9th, Padres had a 4-3 lead, and the Phillies win it 5-4. Now the strike 1 pitch is a hopper, just foul outside of first. 0-2 the count. Ibanez was brought over to replace Pat Burrell and comes up with a big home run today. Ian Stewart hit by a pitch in the first inning. McDonald ready and comes back very high. That brought Russell Martin out of a crouch. Dodgers will be going to Colorado, and they usually do pretty well there. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way, and that's fouled off. Since 1995, that would be the year the Coors Field opened up. The Dodgers have scored 15 or more runs in that ballpark 13 times. 15 or more. 7 have been here or been at Coors Field, and there's strike 3 to Stewart, and just like that, 1 away. Strikeout number 2 for James McDonald, who has allowed 2 hits, hit a batter, and walked 1 intentionally. Leading 3-0, 1 out. Here's Todd Helton, and Helton takes ball 1. Rockies have struck out 50 times in their last 4 games plus today. The next pitch is low, and of the 50 strikeouts, 15 of them have come with runners in scoring position, and Helton joined the club in the first inning. The 2-0 pitch, Todd swings and bangs it into right center for a base hit, and Helton rounding first, and he'll say that's enough. When you have a surgically repaired back and you're 36 years old, that would be a leg double for a lot of players, but not for Todd. So a line drive single, and the batter will be Garrett Atkins. So Russell Martin again, like a Dutch uncle out there, talking to McDonald, and the batter Atkins who was born in Orange and lives in Irvine. I'm sure if you've been following the games, you know he went to school at UCLA. His dad worked hard to get Garrett where he is. Dad got him a bat when he was about 4, would lob tennis balls to him. Then later on, as they got older, Dad would throw 100 and 150 pitches to him from about 40 feet away. Atkins takes a strike. By the way, that's a trend that's happening now. Something new in batting practice. Strike 1 pitch down and away. Several teams are setting up the screen and moving the pitcher off the mound, getting him much closer to the plate for batting practice. The 1-1 pitch, and Atkins fouls it off. Naturally, the closer the pitcher is, it cuts down the distance of the throw, which makes that throw much faster. So there's something new under the sun in batting practice. Hilton at first, 1 out in the 3rd, 3-0 Dodgers. McDonald big, I think that was to be a breaking ball, but it stayed up and in. 2-2 the count. Now the 2-2 pitch on the way, swung on, grounded back at 3rd. Oh, what a pick by Casey for 1 and turn it into a double play. Wow. Casey Blake, who is playing a brilliant third base, turned in a gem just now and turns it into a double play. No runs a hit, nobody left, and it's 3-0 Dodgers. Of the 3rd inning, with the Dodgers leading the Rockies 3-0. That was a relatively easy inning for James McDonald, only because of that play by Casey Blake. McDonald made only 13 pitches. Jimenez ready, and Andre Ethier takes a strike. Andre doubled home Hudson in the 1st inning. You know, maybe people are really starting to understand that Andre Ethier is quite a player. This time he hits one straight up on the left side. Tulowitzki calling and waiting and makes the catch. Give you an idea. Last year there were only 8 National League hitters who hit 300 and hit 20 home runs. Who were they? Well, big guys. Albert Pujols, Matt Holliday, Lance Berkman, David Wright, Brian McCann, Hanley Ramirez, Chipper Jones, and Andre Ethier. One away, and James Loney checking in. We're in the 3rd. Dodgers scored 2 in the 1st, 1 in the 2nd. Here comes Jimenez, big curveball in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes, the count. Loney grounded to short in the first inning. Batting .289, takes away 2 balls and no strikes. On deck, Russell Martin. Dodger rotation has been set for the road trip. The 2-0 pitch is a line drive speared by Barmes. So Loney was all over it, but Barmes' glove was all over it at the other end, and we have 2 down here in the inning. And the batter will be Russell Martin. Dodgers and Rockies played tough last year. Dodgers wound up winning 10 of the 18, but it wasn't easy. 5 out of 9 here and 5 out of 9 there. And of course, the Dodgers are heading for Colorado next weekend, following 3 games in Houston. And the pitch to Martin is inside, ball 1. Russell hitting .211, 5 runs batted in. Jimenez comes right over the top with a fastball low, and he's behind now, 2 balls and no strikes. Dodger rotation starting in Houston. It will be Clayton Kershaw. Pitch to Martin in there. Kershaw would be followed by Randy Wolf, then Chad Billingsley, and then Eric Stokes. Kershaw, remember, last time out, struck out 13. 2-1 pitch is taken low. 3-1 the count. Martin the batter with Kemp on deck. Ubaldo Jimenez. He is a workhorse. Big guy comes back 3-1, very high, driving Martin to his knees. Russell gets out of the way of it. Second time he has walked. You know, enjoy Friday night fireworks all year long and an Independence Day fireworks spectacular with the Dodgers 15-game All-Star plan, featuring Tuesday and Friday night home games, followed by fireworks shows celebrating the 80s, Elvis, the Olympics, and Independence Day. Purchase now at Dodgers.com/mini plans or call 866-DODGERS today. Well, here's Kemp. Struck out in the first inning. Talking about Jimenez entering this season, no other major league pitcher has made more regular season starts than Jimenez. So he is a horse. Throw to first, Martin back on the bag. Ted Lilly and CC Sabathia have equaled the total. This is his 5th consecutive road start. 3-0 Dodgers, 2 out, 3rd inning. Jimenez delivers, and a little breaking ball off the plate. 1 ball and no strikes. Again, Jimenez obviously easy to steal on. Hudson was stealing 3rd when Ethier doubled him home. The Dodgers put on a double steal. They didn't have to use it. Now we'll watch Martin with 2 out. There he goes, sure enough, but the ball is now thrown to first, and they got him in a rundown. And Martin being picked off, Barmes chasing him. Now it's Helton, and Helton tags him out. So the Dodgers are going to run against Jimenez, and for Martin, he took a step too soon, and he's nailed 1-3-4-3. And at the end of 3, it's 3-0 Dodgers. Baseball on Prime Ticket is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Right now, try the mini sirloin burgers. They're 3 delicious burgers on toasted mini buns. And by Aflac. Ask about it at work. Well, right now, time for our Aflac trivia question. Manny Ramirez has 54 career multi-home run games. Yesterday he hit 2 to get to 54. Who is the all-time leader, do you believe? We'll give you the answer in a little while. Manny is up there with the stars, that's for sure. Well, both young pitchers settled down in the 3rd inning. They had each made 50 pitches in the first 2 innings. McDonald made 13 pitches in the 3rd. Jimenez came back with only 11. Of course, Jimenez's best pitch was the pickoff of Martin. Check swing on a pitch up and away, ball 1. Brad Hopp flied to left field in the 2nd inning. Hits one up in the air. A trio of Dodgers. The middleman is Blake, and it's going to go in fair ball, and it's going to wind up a double. We were looking at the second base umpire hustling down the line. The ball landed amongst Blake, Manny, and Raphael, and it was Bill Welke going way down the line. The Dodgers, Blake stopped, as did Manny. I think they were afraid of a collision, and the ball actually landed right on the line. So Brad Hopp, a fly ball double to left. Of course, that's all the Dodgers would need, right? A huge collision between Casey Blake and Manny Ramirez. Discretion is the better part of valor. And here now is Tulowitzki. Ball 1. Scrambling save by Martin. Tulowitzki smoked a double over Manny's head. It one-hopped the scoreboard in left field. Tulowitzki, a superbly gifted young ball player. Wow. This time he pops one up, and it's for Call's turn to squint and catch. There's a very thin layer of white gauze up there called clouds, but it's just a thin layer, so it's tough. Of course, these fellas, the veterans, certainly are accustomed to handling anything. But boy, it's tough. Here's Clint Barmas, fouled out in the 2nd inning. And that's ball 1. Barmas, a shortstop, moved over to second because of the arrival of Tulowitzki. That's a strike. 1-1. Give you an idea what made Barmas move over. Besides a previous injury when he broke his collarbone. But when Tulowitzki arrived, he arrived. When Troy Tulowitzki was a rookie, his fielding percentage was .987, the best all time by a rookie shortstop. And that's popped in the air to right center. It will be Ethier tagging but holding as the throw comes into Hudson is Hobb. 2 down here in the 4th inning, and the batter Chris Iannetta.
Catcher number 20, Chris Iannetta.
Iannetta came up with a runner at second and 2 out in the 2nd inning. The Dodgers tried to tease him, see if he'd go after a bad ball. He wouldn't do it, and they finally walked him intentionally. Hitting .048. Yorvit Torrealba is the other catcher. Torrealba hitting just .200. So for Clint Hurdle, he's got a problem right now offensively behind the plate. 0-1. Oh, big breaking ball in the dirt. Martin has to go back to get it. So a wild pitch sending Hop to third. 1 ball and 1 strike to count to Iannetta. Martin tried to block it with his right hip because when it hit the dirt, it didn't hit where he could short hop it with the mitt. That thing exploded, and Russell tried to block it, couldn't do it. 1-1 to Iannetta. Inside, ball 2. Iannetta, although hitting just .048, one thing you have to understand about Chris, he has a long streak of games without making an error. The other catcher, your Torrealba, went an entire season without committing an error. So there's not much bat behind the plate right now for the Rockies. Torrealba sitting and waiting for an opportunity, but Hurdle certainly has a couple of good mitts behind the plate. 3-2 the count. The Rockies going to have another man strike out with a runner in scoring position. We'll see. Hurdle with his bench coach in the dark, Jim Tracy. Foul back. I mentioned it the other night when Clint Hurdle was a very young player. He was playing for a coach named Gary Blaylock, and Blaylock said there are 2 kinds of players: those who are humble and those who are about to be humble. Fly ball to Matt Kemp. For Chris Iannetta, I'm sure he is very humble, and for Clint Hurdle, it shows up again. The end of 4 coming up. 3-0 Dodgers. For this limited time offer. Remember the trivia question? It had to do with Manny Ramirez, who has had 54 multi-home run games, and the question was, who's the all-time leader who has the most multi-home run games? And the answer, the Babe, George Herman Babe Ruth, 72 career multi-home run games. But 54 is not bad, huh? 3-0 Dodgers. And we go to the 5th inning. Actually, the bottom of the 4th. Just looking, McDonald through 4 has pitched behind, but has only allowed 1 leadoff man to get on. So in the 4th for the Dodgers, Kemp, Blake, and McDonald. That's right. McDonald has had ball one to 11 of the 17 batters, and he's getting away with it so far. 0-2 the count to Matt, who struck out in the first inning, as that 12-game hitting streak. Might have gone after a bad ball down and away. Matt, of course, has enough power to hit to all fields. 0-2. Ubaldo Jimenez working on Kemp. Keeping the ball down, 1-2. Big man from the Dominican. And a drive to left center and deep. Back goes Fowler away back. It's off the base of the wall. Kemp goes steaming into second base with a double, and he is hit safely in the first 13 games of the year. So Matt Kemp starting off in fine style. Remember, he is now wearing new contact lenses. And Matt had said, after striking out 153 times last year, he said, I'm not going to strike out that much because I'm going to see the ball so much better. Well, here you go. Proof of the pudding, or proof of the lenses. The Kemp is hitting 13 straight. And the batter, Casey Blake. Ball one. Casey, they were pitching him in, and he got nailed in the second inning. On deck, James McDonald. So Chris Iannetta going out to talk to Jimenez. One ball and no strikes. Casey dipping under 200, but he has 3 home runs and 8 runs batted in. Fouled away, 1-1. Dodgers start the road trip on KCAL on the 21st, then prime ticket on the 22nd, and then from Houston to Colorado to San Francisco. So you can make the trip with us. Kemp at second base. 3-0 Dodgers. Ground ball to shortstop. Tulowitzki has to go to first. Kemp moving over. So we have a runner at third with 1 out. You know, the Dodgers are debuting the Junior Dodger broadcast program today, giving young aspiring broadcasters an opportunity to hone their skills calling actual games from the Dodger Stadium press box. Program believed to be the first of its kind in the majors. The live audio feed for the Junior Dodger broadcast will be available for free at Dodgers.com/Junior Dodgers. Oh, that's great. Dodgers are working alongside the KidStar Radio Network to prepare the youngsters for the broadcast. Today there's a 16-year-old doing play-by-play, and a 10-year-old is the analyst. I think that 10-year-old is ready. You've got to think like a 10-year-old. 0-1. Infield is up. Full swing foul. So McDonald trying to aid his own cause. Got a runner at third with 1 out. On deck, Rafael Furcal. And that's a little inside. 1-2 to McDonald. James 0 for 1 coming into this game. Sacrificed in the second inning. When he went 0 for 1, he hit into a double play. Now he's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. So Rafael Furcal will be coming up.
Number 15, Rafael Furcal.
3 strikeouts for Jimenez. He got for call in the second inning, but Rafael walked and scored a run in the first inning. Dodgers 3 runs, 4 hits. The Rockies no runs, 4 hits. Rockies left the bases loaded back in the second. And ball 1. So not only did the Rockies leave the bases loaded, they left a runner at third in the fourth. They left a runner at second in the first, which reminds you of the Dodgers Friday night. 1-1. Remember Friday night, the Dodgers left 12, 11 in scoring position, and they still managed to beat Hurdle 4-3. That had to be a bitter pill to swallow for sure for Clint. 1-1 for call. Ball 2, 2-1. Kemp down the line from third. Rafael trying to pick him up. Infield deep with Barmes on the grass. Hit late and foul. 2-2. On deck, Orlando Hudson. We're in the bottom of the fourth inning. 3-0 Dodgers. Well, he's working Rafael every which way, and he goes 3-2. Jimenez, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, 4 hits and 3 runs. Foul back. Rockies came into the game 2 games under 500, and yet in the West they were in second place behind the Dodgers and Padres, who began tied. But remember, Padres lost today. Fouled away. Dodgers with Kemp at third. In the series, talking about me leaving men on base and men in scoring position, the Rockies so far with runners in scoring position are 3 for 24. Fastball whacked into right center. There's nobody there. So in comes Kemp. Rafael scurrying to second, standing with a double, and the Dodgers lead 4-0. So for the Dodgers, they put together 2 doubles for a run. And that'll bring up Orlando Hudson, who's been very busy. Hudson in the first inning came up with Rafael at first, and he found the alley in right center to drive in for a call. And then in the second inning, he had a base hit to right field. Brad Hobb makes the throw, but the run was in. So Hudson is 2 for 2. He has driven in 2, and he has scored 1. Three doubles in 4 innings for the Dodgers, leading 4-0. And ball 1. Dodgers have 5 hits, 4 doubles, and a single by Hudson. 1-1. Colorado, in a sense, getting a little of its own medicine, because when you go to Coors Field, that's the home of doubles. You have to have rabbits out there to play the outfield defensively. It is such a big outfield. Balls are forever finding the gaps. So the Dodgers have found the gap Hudson doubled in the first inning. Ethier doubled in the first inning. Kemp doubles. Now for COL doubles. And a broken bat, foul ball. The bat is wide of the bag at first. Hudson walking back with what looks like about a baton. So that bat really came apart. He hit it at the end of the bat. Most of the time you would think that the bat's going to break when you hit it on the handle, which is the thinner part. But as you can see, not necessarily so. Of course, this is the day and age of the broken bat. So for COL, still at second base, fourth inning, and the Dodgers lead the Rockies 4-0. 2-2. Deuce is very wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Little ground ball to short. Tulowitzki. So that does it for Hudson, but the Dodgers put together 2 doubles for a run. And at the end of 4, Dodgers 4, Rockies nothing. Dodgers lead the Rockies 4-0 as we go to the 5th inning. And it will be Ubaldo Jimenez, the pitcher, then Dexter Fowler and Ian Stewart. Dodgers have managed to get 3 leadoff men on against Jimenez, and they've scored each one. For COL, led off the first with a walk, scored. Blake hit by a pitch in the second, scored. Kemp doubles in the fourth, scores. Add one more, and the Dodgers lead 4-0. Jimenez has made 86 pitches in 4 innings. 1-1 the count. Two and 1. Meanwhile, McDonald had made 78 pitches in 4 innings. So both pitchers struggling a bit. Ball 3. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Rick Honeycutt knows that McDonald is not going to be around too long, so he gets up Scott Elbert, the left-hander, just called up, and the big right-hander, Ronald Belisario. That's a strike. Three and 2 to Jimenez. And ball 4. So McDonald has allowed at least one man on base in every inning. And now Dexter Fowler. Fowler had one chance, and Rick Honeycutt has gone out to the mound. Fowler had popped up in the first inning, but in the second inning, the young center fielder came up with the bases loaded and 2 out and hit one right on the button. But he hit that line drive right at Andre Ethier. But that was no easy out. Of course, he's a kid we mentioned earlier. The Rockies are very high on him. They think that he has a chance to really be a star, and he's going to be around for quite a while now that he signed his most recent contract, whereby he could be there, oh gosh, for 4 years at least. Fowler is 6'4", just 175. Honeycutt has counseled McDonald, and we'll see. Fowler was a member of the USA baseball team that played in the Olympics in Beijing last August. And Harvard was interested in him to play basketball. So he's a fine young athlete. One ball, no strikes. Foul back. Fowler, they say, has 5 tools, which means he can do it all. Ball 2, hitting .286. Just turned 23. And McDonald is struggling now. 3-1 the count. Scott Elbert is still throwing in the pen. Belisario has stopped throwing. And that's going to be hit to center. Kemp goes back for it. The ball carrying. And Matt makes a nice play. So Fowler makes out as Ubaldo Jimenez goes back to the bag. But Fowler's a tough out. He's hit 2 on the button, but he's 0 for 3. And the batter will be Ian Stewart. Stewart was hit by a pitch in the first inning and stole second, but the Rockies left him. Then last time up, he led off and struck out. Where the Dodgers are getting the first man on base and scoring him 3 times, McDonald in the first 4 innings allowed just 1 man to get on, but here in the 5th he walked the opposing pitcher. Right. Ian Stewart hitting .368. Another young ball player. They're very high on Ian, and he's local. He's from Long Beach, lives in Garden Grove, went to La Quinta High School, and Ian was a #1 pick back in 2003. It took him only 9 at-bats in his young career for Ian to hit his first Grand Slam home run. Remarkable. Off speed for a strike. You know, of all the left-hand hitters in baseball, it was Ian Stewart who had the best batting average against left-handers last year. He hit .370 against left-hand pitcher, better than Joe Mauer, better than Juan Pierre. And this time he lifts one foul out of play. Stewart well put together for a professional athlete. Ian is 6'3", 205-pounder. Committed to USC and then passed up to turn pro. Signed with SC because they were close to home. Now the 1-2 pitch straightens him up. 2-2. Before he signed a contract, Ian Stewart went to Coors Field. Clint Hurdle pitched batting practice, and Stewart hit so many balls so well he got everybody's attention. He hit one in the 3rd level facade, one of the highest spots there. In fact, they tell me where Stewart hit that ball, there were only 8 hitters. Larry Walker, Todd Helton, and old pal Todd Hollingsworth, who had hit the ball up there. Admittedly, he hit it in BP against Hurdle, but it sure got everybody's attention. 3-2. And ball 4. So McDonald looks like a young pitcher who is definitely struggling and is definitely coming out. Tough break for McDonald because he can't pick up a win. He made 96 pitches and he worked 4 1/3 innings, going out losing the victory with his team winning 4-0. And they'll go to the pen for Scott Elbert, and we'll be back. No hidden fee. Book now at Southwest.com, where what you see is what you pay. James McDonald, who was fighting it, hitting the batter, the second batter that he faced today, made 96 pitches, got into the 5th inning and walked 2 and had to come out, blowing an opportunity of picking up a win. And he gives the ball now to the young left-hander Scott Elbert. The only outs on the ground against McDonald came on a double play started by Casey Blake. 0-1 the count. For Scott Elbert, 6'1", 210 out of Joplin, Missouri. Grew up in Seneca, Missouri, about 10 miles from where assistant Dodger general manager Logan White went to school. Elbert was a football player, great running back in high school. Fastball for a strike, 0-2 to Helton. In fact, in high school, he ran for 36 touchdowns, but he signed a big bonus for the Dodgers, the kind of money you get when you're a number one pick. Was with the Dodgers very briefly last year, 6 innings. Fastball fouled away, so it's not as if the first hitter he ever faced in the major leagues is Todd Helton. Nevertheless, Helton will do. Fastball, curveball, circle change, and a bit of a slider. Oh, 0-2 the count to Helton. And that's popped up. It will be Blake with Furcal riding to the rescue, but Casey stays with it in foul ground. So for Todd Helton, he fouls out.
Batting next, third baseman,
Here are the Rockies. Friday, 1 for 6. Saturday, 1 for 10. 1 for 8 today. So they are, well, you can do the math, 3 for 24 with runners in scoring position as Helton fouls out. And the batter will be Garrett Atkins. So again, Helton goes back to the dugout thinking of what it used to be like. Atkins flied to right, hit into the double play. That's when he drilled it, and Casey Blake made a wonderful stop and turned it into a double play. it could easily have gone through into left field. Elbert, 6'1", 210. Foul back, 0-2. Elbert, having been a very successful football player, and they talk about him like they did about Kirk Gibson, that he brings a football mentality to baseball. I mean, he is apparently a bulldog, great young competitor. 0-2. Ball 1-1-2. No finesse. Elbert's a hard thrower, period. He's had tendonitis in his shoulder, arthroscopic surgery on the shoulder 2 years ago. And Atkins now drives one to center. Back goes Kemp to the track, and the wall reaches up and takes a home run away. Matt Kemp, who can beat you with the bat, he can beat you with the legs, and he took one look at the wall, timed it perfectly, and maybe that would not have gone out, but it was close enough, and it's still 4-0 Dodgers. Nothing, but it's somewhat of a rocky lead. A note, when Scott Elbert was pitching to Garrett Atkins, he didn't realize that Atkins hit .357 against left-handers last year, and although young Elbert is smiling now, it took a great catch by Matt Kemp, or 2 runs would have scored and the Dodger lead would have been cut in half. Instead, it's still 4-0 Dodgers, and Manny Ramirez, Andre Ethier, and James Loney coming up. Foul back. Rockies have a young pitcher. The first time I saw him, I thought he was a cinch to make the ball club, but he's been back and forth down in the minor leagues. Matt Belisle is warming up in the bullpen, and it reminds me, the left-hander that was, I thought, impressive, I guess 2 years ago. That's going to go into right field for Manny, a base hit. He's 1 for 3. The pitcher that I think the Rockies will bring back up again, and it will be interesting to see if he's as good as I think he is. His name is Franklin Morales. And the word is, and I thought about him when we took a shot of the Rockies bullpen. I thought of Morales because the word seems to be, if they bring Morales up, they'll send Matt Belisle out. Morales is only 23 years old. We saw him 2 years ago and very briefly last year, but kind of file that name away. We'll see what happens. Ethier lifts one into shallow right. A trio of Rockies, and it's Dexter Fowler. So Ethier, a fly ball to shallow center, 1 out. Ramirez holding it first, and James Loney the batter. Loney grounded to short and lined out to Barmes at second base. Dodgers trying to make it 8 in a row, trying to make it a 6-0 homestand, trying to sweep the Rockies and then go on to Houston. So Manny at first. We'll see if Jimenez pays any attention to him. Remember early, first 2 series, 1 in Arizona, 1 in San Diego. The starting pitcher, including Jake Peavy, worrying about Manny, threw over the first, threw it away for an error, and each time the Dodgers scored. Well, they're gonna keep an eye on him. I mean, you realize, of course, that Manny Ramirez stole 2 bases last year, went 2 years without a stolen base. I mean, running is just not part of his game. So Ramirez held on by Helton with 1 out. Bottom of the 5th, Dodgers lead 4-0. Foul back. 2-1. Dodgers trying to make their record 10-3. Go 1 up on San Diego. The Padres lost today in the 9th inning. And they would be 5 in front of Colorado. Breeze blowing to right, which is basically the prevailing breeze here at Dodger Stadium. Boy, what a spectacular day, huh? Three and 1. And there's ball 4. So Jimenez is struggling with the strike zone. You know, by the way, you can hit the road with the Dodgers for the first Dodger Life road trip of the year. Travel to Colorado Thursday. Watch the boys in blue take on the Rockies. Packages include hotel, tour of the ballpark, pregame meet and greet, and more. To purchase, visit Dodgers.com/road trips or call 323-224-2646. See you in Colorado. 2 on, 1 out, and here is Russell Martin. Martin has walked twice. Jimenez has walked 4 and hit a batter. He nailed Casey Blake. Martin batting .211. Walked twice. Second time he was picked off. That's a strike. So Ramirez and Loney are out there with 1 out. Dodgers 4, Rockies nothing. Slider down. Clint Hurdle trying to exercise a great deal of patience with young pitchers and frustrated hitters. Ground foul. Still 1 and 2. Ubaldo Jimenez, despite the fact he has not pitched that well against the Dodgers, 2-0 last year, 4-0 lifetime, and they're trying to catch up to him today. They have 2 on, 1 out, 5th inning, and lead 4-0. though Russell's still up there hacking away. 1-2. Jimenez had made 86 pitches in the 4th inning, and he's making a bunch now here in the 5th. He's right now ready to make his 100th pitch. And it's stroked into left field, base hit. Manny will be held up. Leading 4-0 early in the year. No reason to run him, and especially with Matt Kemp coming up. So Martin, a line drive single to left, and the Dodgers have loaded him up with 1 out. And Clint Hurdle making his way to the mound, and I think he's had enough. 100 pitches by Ubaldo Jimenez, and he'll be coming out. So Matt Belisle, the right-hander, is down in the bullpen, and Belisle will be coming in. Jimenez goes out, and we'll be back. Nothing. He might have given himself a little more margin for error had Matt Kemp not caught the ball hit by Garrett Atkins in the 5th inning. That would have cut the Dodger lead in half, and he might have had a shot, but he finally comes out after 100, 2 singles and a walk. And the batter now, Matt Kemp, who struck out but then doubled against him in the 4th inning, facing Matt Belisle, another big guy, 6'3", 230. Out of Texas and very much into scuba diving. He's gotten his certificate. And ball 1. For Belisle, he was basically a starting pitcher. He was drafted in the 2nd round only because he tore a knee ligament in his senior year of high school. They were kind of afraid that that knee might ruin him, but he's done well. Here he is with Ramirez, Loney, and Martin out there on the lines. And he falls behind, 2 balls and no strikes. Belisle just started to come out of the bullpen for the first time in his career. He had been a starter. He had surgery on that knee in May back in 1998. It was his left knee. Cost him a lot of money, I'm sure. Difference between number 1 and number 2. Kemp, meanwhile, a drive into deep right center. That goes to the wall. It's a grand slam home run for Matt Kemp, the first of his career since the one he hit last April in Colorado against Mark Redmond. And the Dodgers lead 8-0. Matt Kemp on his way to stardom. That breaks it wide open. So Kemp saved a couple and now picks up 4. So for Belisle, he gives up 1 run, and Jimenez is charged with the other 7. And remember, Jimenez had an earned run average over 11 at Dodger Stadium and had 1 win and no loss, but not now. Well, we mentioned earlier, if they bring up Franklin Morales, as Jimenez sits there bearing the burden of 7, if they bring up Morales, the word is that Matt Belisle might be going out, and of course that certainly didn't help him at all. And that's a drive into left center field, and that's going to go to the wall. So Casey Blake is on his way for a double. Boy, what a lineup from 1 to 8. Take another look at Matt Kemp. He had struck out and doubled, and then he got a ball away. He kind of, as it comes in on him, he hits it inside out, and he is so strong. He didn't pull it. He went the other way into the bleachers in right center field. Wow. So it is 8-0 Dodgers. Casey Blake at second. Scott Elbert coming up. This might be his first major league at bat. Strike. 0-1. So the Dodgers putting it on. 5 doubles and a grand slam home run. And that's going to be sliced into left center for Elbert, and that's going to go to the wall. Here comes Blake on a double by Scott Elbert, and the Dodgers lead 9-0. And in looking it up, that would be his second major league at bat and his first hit. First hit turned out to be a double and a run batted in. So for Matt Belisle, he is certainly being pushed around, giving up a grand slam. Dodgers get the ball for him. That will go in the suitcase. Take another look. I wonder, you see that bat? That looks like Manny Ramirez's bat. I'm not sure if it's. What happened was yesterday, Will Oman got into the game, and Manny gave him the bat, and Oman walked up and got a base hit. I'm just wondering if that bat that Elbert used wasn't Manny. Little pop fly, Tulowitzki for the second out. Oh, I'm sure they will check. It looked like one of Manny's bats, two-tone, dark brown, then the light handle. He was acting in the dugout as if it might very well have been his magical bat. Manny, by the way, is 1 for 3 today, a single. Well, we'll have to pursue that for sure. See the bat that he's carrying? Wait till he comes up the steps. It looks so much like the bat that Scott Elbert used. Here's Hudson. Every time I say Scott Elbert, I hear myself saying Fat Albert. Do you hear that? Does it come over to you that way? I'm not trying to give him a bad time. 9-0 Dodgers here. And that's smoked into left field, base hit. So here comes Elbert. What an inning for him. He gets a double, an RBI, scores a run. For Matt Belisle, in all honesty, your heart goes out to him. Guy trying to hang on with the ball club, and he's been lathered. A grand slam home run to Matt Kemp, a double to Blake, a double to Elbert, now a single by Hudson. Glendon Rush gets up down in the Rockies bullpen. So the Dodgers began the homestand, remember, and nailed the Giants 11-1.
The fielder.
Then they had a tough game, but they won it 5-4. Then they had a relatively easy game, 7-2. Then Friday night they had to come from behind to win it, 4-3. Yesterday the Dodgers scored 9 to hammer the Rockies, and they come back with 10 now and lead 10-0. 2 out, bottom of the 5th inning, and a big 6 on the scoreboard. Ball 1. That looks just like the bat that Scott Elbert used. Brown and tan. I know Oman used Manny's bat yesterday. 1 ball, no strikes. 2-0. So Matt Belisle out of McAllen, Texas, lives in Austin, and he's having a nightmare of a relief assignment. Whoa, 2-1. Matt, by the way, will be 29 in June. Breeze blowing to right. 2-1 to Manny. Manny is the 10th man to come to the plate. 2-2. Belisle challenging him. Fastballs up and in. Say Belisle is a very hard worker. First guy at the ballpark, last one to leave. He's been a pro since 1999, and he's been up and down with the Reds and now with the Rockies. Ground foul. Manny hitting .310. The Dodgers have scored 6 here in the 5th inning, and they lead 10-0. Meanwhile, Orlando Hudson at first. Matt Kemp making a great catch that saved at least 2, then hits a grand slam. 3-2 the count to Manny Ramirez. On deck, Andre Ethier. Of course, for James McDonald, he's saying to himself, oh, great. They got me 4. I have to come out where I can't win, and they get a half a dozen more. There goes the runner. A little dunker to left field. It's going to drop. Going to third is Hudson. So Ramirez, a little fly ball single, and the beat continues. Manny showing the bat, and it was touched. I think it was Scott Elbert who touched it. Oh, it was Russell Martin who touched that magic bat. So dark down in there in the dugout, it's hard to see from up here. So it is a magic wand. Russell apparently did the same thing yesterday, touching Manny's bat. So Matt Belisle has been driven to cover, and Glendon Rush will be brought in. Dodgers breezing 10-0, and we'll be back. Left-hander Glendon Rush coming in. The Dodgers lead 10-0. 2-for-1 switch. Rush will bat in Atkins' spot, and Baker would bat ninth and a chance to swing the bat later on. And that's probably banged into right field. Scoring easily is Hudson. Stopping at second is Manny, and the Dodgers now lead 11-0. Wow. And I mean, just about every ball well hit.
Dodger first baseman, number 7, James.
So for Don Mattingly and Joe Torre, take a look at the homestand. Dodgers will make it 6-0. They will have outscored the opponent 3-1, 47-15, 2.5-1 home runs, and the batting average twice as much. I mean, that is a dominant homestand. Now let's see. Manny's going off the bag, heading for the dugout, and we'll have a runner for him in a moment. It'll be Juan Pierre as Ramirez comes in and gets fives all around. And now the crowd applauding as Juan Pierre takes over. For Ramirez, he went 2 for 4, 2 singles. Well, what a way to put a ribbon on the package of this homestand. 11-0 lead. We told you that the Dodgers since 1995 have scored 15 or more runs 13 times, 7 of those at Coors Field. Well, they've scored 11 against the Rockies today. That's popped up. Tulowitzki goes out, and mercifully the inning is over. The Dodgers roll a 7, and at the end of 5 lead 11-0. They have come to earth and bright enough with a 7-run inning. This was the first game way back in 1890 ever played by a Brooklyn team. They were called the Bridegrooms, then the Trolley Dodgers, the Superbas, and finally the Dodgers. And are they ever the Dodgers today? Let's go back to this one. There are days when it looks like everything goes your way, and for the Dodgers it certainly appears that way, and especially for Matt Kemp among others. 11-0 Dodgers. No mercy rule in the majors. Dodgers make 2 changes. You saw Pierre take over for Manny Ramirez, and Juan Castro takes over for Orlando Hudson. Two and two. For Scott Elbert, this is a good game. There is no pressure, certainly. Throw some strikes, get some outs, and he's already contributed in that runaway 5th inning when the Dodgers scored 7. Dodgers 11 runs, 13 hits, a drive to right and deep. Ethier going back to the scoreboard, but it's the Rockies' turn as Brad Hopp, wouldn't you know, hits his 17th career home run against the Dodgers. He has never hit more than 9 against any other team. So Brad Hopp hits it out. That makes it 11-1 in favor of the Dodgers.
Shortstop number 2, Troy Tulowitzki.
And Troy Tulowitzki coming up. Tulowitzki has doubled and popped up. Strike. So Brad Hopp, who is a Dodger tormentor for sure. 17 home runs he's hit against them. For Brad, who is a fixture in right field, his 2nd home run of the year. Hopp hit a home run in the 1st inning Friday night. Oh and 2. Hopper to short for COL. 1 away. So Tulowitzki didn't waste any time. Now Clint Barnes. The Rockies will head for Arizona after this game. Dodgers will have the opportunity of spending Sunday night at home, and then tomorrow they'll leave for Houston. Ball 1. Strike 1-1 the count. So Scott Elbert, Joplin, Missouri, Seneca High School, check swing, and a delayed call as a strike from Jim Reynolds. 1-2 the count to Clint Barnes. Fouled away. So the Dodgers with Elbert now have a couple of left-handers in the bullpen, and they all throw hard. Will Oman, Scott Elbert, and of course you know about Hung-Chi Kuo. Oh, good breaking ball to strike out Barmes. 2 down. McDonald struck out a couple, 2. So 3 Rockies have struck out. 51 Rockies have struck out in the last 4.5 games. 51. Ramon Troncoso, the young right-hander, gets up in the Dodger bullpen. And here's Chris Iannetta. Ball 1. Iannetta walked, fly to center, 0 for 1. Hitting .045. The only consolation, this is only the 11th game for the Rockies. And he lifts a fly ball to deep left. Pierre goes back to the track at the wall. It is gone. So Elbert has faced 2 plus 4. He's faced 6 hitters and given up 2 home runs and almost gave up another. You remember Matt Kemp making that great catch on a ball that might have hit the top of the fence and even kicked over. It was a fastball out over the plate, and so Iannetta, who had only 1 hit and it was a home run, now has his 2nd hit, and that's a home run. So Chris has to feel a wee bit better. Still hitting about a half a buck. And the batter will be Jeff Baker. Would be interesting if Baker faced Will Oman. That would be a rare combination in the big leagues, because Will Oman was born in West Frankfurt, Germany. Jeff Baker was born in Bad Kissingen, Germany. That swung on, finally discovered by Martin. They're going to throw to first, and that will do it for Baker. So that's the inning. 2 hits, 2 home runs, and at the end of 5 1/2, Dodgers 11, Rockies 2. .3, and he needed all of it to come up with that. And then, of course, later on, he hit a grand slam home run. But that's freeze cam action with Matt Kemp. The ball was hit by Garrett Atkins, and although it perhaps would not have gone out, it certainly would have brought the Rockies back into the game. And then after Kemp's inspiring catch in the bottom of the 5th inning, he hit a grand slam. It was a 7-run inning, and the Dodgers have just run away with it. Glendon Rush working now to Russell Martin. Ian Stewart, who started the game in left field, is now at third base for Garrett Atkins. Seth Smith is in left field. Ryan Spilborghs is in right field. Local boy from Santa Barbara. And Jeff Baker is playing first base. Helton came out. 1-2. 2-2. Dodgers 11 runs on 13 hits. Rockies 2 runs, 6 hits. They have 2 home runs by Hopp and Iannetta. And that's going to hit into center for a base hit. So Russell Martin bidding for a perfect day. 2 walks and 2 singles.
Defensive changes for the Rockies. Now playing left field, number 7, Seth Smith.
When Matt Kemp hit the grand slam against Matt Belisle, it brought up a point that we had mentioned earlier about the fact that the Colorado bullpen has not been giving relief. The Rockies relievers have allowed 10 home runs so far, the relievers. Here's Matt for a strike. Kemp struck out, then doubled and scored, and then hit the grand slam. So he has 2 in his career, both against Colorado, and both here. Hard backhanded nicely. They get 1. Wow, there's a big league double play. started by Troy Tulowitzki, a Gold Glove shortstop for sure. That thing looked like a cinch base hit, and Tulowitzki made it look easy.
Number 23, Casey Blake.
So a nice play by Troy. 2 down here in the 6th inning. 11-2 Dodgers, and Casey Blake coming up. Blake hit by a pitch, scored a run, grounded to short, doubled, and scored a run. Everybody in the starting lineup has a hit, with the exception of James Loney. Safe. So a great all-out effort, but Blake gets the infield single, and the batter will be Scott Elbert. So Casey comes up with his second hit.
57, Scott Elbert.
Loney is the only hitless starter. James grounded to short and lined out to second, walked and popped up. So here's Elbert. Got his first major league hit, and it turned out to be a double. Fly ball down the left field line. Seth Smith coming over and one-hands it. Nice play, and that's the inning. So the Dodgers shut down here in the 6th, and at the end of 6, 11-2 Dodgers. When they had a 5-game winning streak, they were averaging almost 7.5 runs. Then they made it 6 in a row, then made it 7 in a row with 9, and now here they are trying to make it 8 in a row with 11. So that formidable starting lineup for the Dodgers is indeed formidable, and the Navy is here. The USS Stockdale was saluted before the game. Captain and crew here. Meanwhile, Dexter Fowler 0 for 3, hit 2 balls right on the button. He came up in the 2nd inning with the bases loaded and hit a line drive, but it was right at Andre Ethier. And then in the 5th inning, he came up and hit one hard at Matt Kemp. So it's a tough 0 for 3 for him. Ground ball, Casey Blake. One away. Ian Stewart, and then Helton's replacement. Stewart hit by a pitch, struck out and walked. Ryan Spilborghs in that multi-switch turns out hitting in Kelton's spot. Baker hitting an Atkins spot. Ball one. You know, in the fifth inning, when the Dodgers scored the 7 runs, it points up a huge difference between the two teams. The Dodgers had more hits with runners in scoring position in the fifth inning than the Rockies have had in the entire series. In that fifth inning, the Dodgers had 5 hits with runners in scoring position, and of course that includes Matt Kemp's grand slam. Andre Ethier also singled. But the Rockies in this series are 3 for 26 with runners in scoring position, which would test the mettle of any manager, including the gum-chewing Clint Hurdle. The Dodgers today are 8 for 18 with runners in scoring position. That's truly remarkable. Line drive single by Ian Stewart. Say, friends, you can get Dodger discounts on your mobile phone all season long by texting Dodgers TIX to 65246 throughout the year. You'll receive special offers to watch the Dodgers defend their title in the division, and you can customize your mobile alerts with news, game summaries, scores, and more at Dodgers.com/mobile. Stewart a base hit, but of course for Elbert, at least he has kept it in the park. Scott had given up 2 hits in the 6th inning, home runs by Brad Hobb and Chris Iannetta. Spielborg's hitting .244, boy from Santa Barbara. And he hits in the air. Pierre is there. 2 down, 7th inning. Glendon Rush is coming up now to hit. Seth Smith is on deck. And that's a fly ball to right center. Andre Ethier puts that away. So a base hit and nothing else. And at the end of 6 1/2, it's 11-2 Dodgers. And now the crowd will be asked to stand for the singing of God Bless America. A well worth moment indeed to give thought to all of the blessings that we enjoy, and even more so to all of those men and women who are giving their times and in many instances their life. The old story, the price of freedom is very, very expensive.
We'll be joined by Nancy B. at the Dodger Stadium, Roland, Oregon.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, why with all God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for the California Lottery 7th inning stretch. One lucky row of fans will receive Super Lotto Plus vouchers, good for a Super Lotto Plus ticket. Please remain standing and join Nancy B. at the Dodger Stadium, Roland, Oregon, as we all say.
4-2 lead into the bottom of the 7th inning. Manny Corpus comes out of the Colorado bullpen. It's been Jimenez, Belisle, Rush, and Corpus. And the first pitch for a strike to Rafael Furcal. Furcal, a walk and a double, so he is 1 for 3. Manny in his 6th game with an ERA over 4. Remember, there was a time when Manny was the closer, but it didn't quite fit. Brian Fuentes then moving over, so the job is open. There's a ground ball base hit. Hit number 16 for the Dodgers. So Manny has a walk, a single, and a double. And the batter will be Hudson's replacement, Juan Castro.
Second baseman, number 14, Juan Castro.
Juan Castro with the magical hands and glove. 1 for 3 this young year. And ball 1. Manny Corpus 2 years ago was really terrific as he tries to put Castro down. That's a strike. 2007, Manny Corpus retired the side in order 41 times. He had an earned run average of 2. But then last year it blew up over 4.5. And that's going to be hit over the head of Barmes and on out into right field. So Castro a base hit as if they needed it. The Dodgers get back-to-back singles, opening matters here in the 7th inning. And the Dodgers now 11 runs on 17 hits. The boy from Panama, Manuel Corpus. Juan Pierre came in to pick up as Manny Ramirez came out. Ramirez 2 for 4 today with singles. Pierre hitting .375 and ball 1. On deck, Andre Ethier. And ball 2. The Colorado Rockies have violated one of the most important commandments for the pitchers, and that is to get the first pitch for a strike and get the first hitter. They've not been able to do that at all, and they've paid for it. That's ball 3. The Dodger leadoff man has reached in all but 1 inning. I mean 6 out of 7, and 4 so far of the 6 have scored. Furcal in the first, Blake in the second. In fact, the only inning when Ethier popped up leading off the 3rd. So it continues. Bases loaded. Corpus faces 3 hitters, gives up 2 hits and a walk. Tough time of day, and especially Corpus looks like he's getting a little psychological talk from Bob Apodaca. One of those hang in there's. Corpus was spotted when he was 16 years old playing for Panama in an international tournament in Taiwan. Then he pitched an inning in Venezuela, and then the Rockies signed him as a free agent at 16. Andre Ethier, double, popped up, flied out, single. So he's 2 for 4. No grand slams. And a strike. On deck, James Loney. Andre with a double and a single. $11 runs on 17 hits. Fastball for a strike. It's been Jimenez, Belisle, Rush, and Corpus. Jimenez charged with 7, Belisle with 4. Manny Corpus, who is much more accustomed to coming in to save games and hold games, is asked to pick up the pieces today. Foul back. Still 1-2. Ryan Spire, a right-hander, gets up down in the bullpen for the Rockies. One and two the count. And that's going to be hit to deep center. Back goes Fowler at the wall to pick it off. Tagging up and scoring is for COL. Castro to third, and Ethier just missed hitting it out. And what a nice play by Dexter Fowler. He almost, not quite, made it nonchalant to go back to the wall. Very graceful to pick off that drive. He knew exactly where he was. Bangs into the pads. So for Andre Ethier, not going to come much closer to a slam. He picks up an RBI. For COL brings it in. The run is charged to Corpus, and the Dodgers lead 12-2. Castro now at third and Pierre at first. They're not holding Pierre because there's no way Juan even wants to steal a base. Meanwhile, the pitch to James Loney is ball one. Now Loney's another thing. Grounded out, lined out, popped up and walked. The only one without a hit. 1 out. Nice save behind the plate. 2-0. So Castro joined the fun with a base hit, and now at third. Manny Corpus hadn't fooled anybody. 2 hits, a walk, and then that 395-foot fly ball. And that's a base hit to right field. So Castro scores. Pierre will stop at second. No mercy rule. So you just have to, you get a big hang in there today if you're with the Rockies. And for Loney, he finally joins the fun as Castro brings it home. Loney a base hit and an RBI. Dodgers lead 13-2. And the batter will be Russell Martin. Quite a homestand. 11 against the Giants, opening it up, and 13 with the closer. Right. Remember way earlier we were talking about Clint Hurdle and the child in the hospital and the number 64 on the batting card and how they went all the way into the postseason. Corpus in 2007 had 3 saves in the postseason series. He was the youngest pitcher to earn 3 saves, doing it for Clint. Rockies swept the Phillies in the division series that year, and Manny was a star. That was only 07. 0-2. One and two. What is it about our love is here to stay? The Rockies may crumble. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. 13-2 Dodgers. Little ground ball wide of third. Nice pick there by Stewart. They get 2, and that's the inning. So Martin grounds into the double play. The Dodgers settle for 2, and at the end of 7, they're nipping Colorado 13-2. Game apart. It was Matt Kemp unloading the second grand slam of his career, both against Colorado. Scott Elbert, the young pitcher just called up, had some fun. He doubled for his first major league hit in RBI. There was also Orlando Hudson. There's always Orlando Hudson. He singled a drive in Elbert. And for good measure, Andre Ethier, who's become such a solid hitter, he banged home Orlando Hudson. So the Dodgers scored 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the fourth, 7 in the fifth, 2 in the seventh, and they're winning 13-2 on 18 hits. It was a non-game by the 5th inning. The only flaw would be James McDonald. I mean, he started. McDonald did not allow any runs, but he couldn't go the required 5 innings on a day that the Dodgers scored 13. Disappointing. Ramon Troncoso gets a strike, 0-1. So McDonald, Elbert, and Troncoso. Ramon in his 3rd game. Big breaking ball. Seth Smith, who couldn't bunt yesterday, up there now swinging away. 1-2 the count to Seth. Seth out of Jackson, Mississippi. Seth not only picked up his first RBI in a major league game, but in the pressure of a postseason game. It was a 2-out, 2-run pinch hit double, game 4 of the LCS in 2007 against Arizona. That was a huge pinch hit. 3-2. Seth, 26 years old, 6'3", 225-pounder. He was one of Eli Manning's backup quarterbacks for 3 years at the University of Mississippi. And he flares one into right center. It's a base hit. Ethier over to get it. So Smith, a single to right, and Troy Tulowitzki will be coming up. So Brad Hopspot has had 3 hits. Hopp had a double and a home run, and now Smith in that same spot, singles to right. Troy Tulowitzki double, popped up, grounded out, 1 for 3. Yeah, that's right. Seth Smith backed up Eli Manning. Todd Helton gave way to Peyton Manning. Ground ball. They get one for Call. Gets 2. So Castro to Furcal, 4-6, and then on to Loney. And with 2 down in the 8th inning, the batter will be Clint Barmas, the second baseman. Castro, in his prime, when he first came to the Dodgers, got rid of the ball as quickly as I think anyone we've ever seen. Seemed like as it was coming into his glove, it was coming out. And of course, Juan was involved in the last Dodger triple play against Atlanta. Boy, that's a while ago. Juan was playing shortstop. Delino DeShields playing second. And Eric Karros at first. Clint fouled out, flied out, struck out. In the dirt. Check swing, no swing. Paid its attendance today, 41,474. Curveball lifted to Pierre. Easy third out. So no runs ahead, nobody left. We're heading to the bottom of the 8th inning. 13-2 Dodgers. Driven by Journey, and there are a lot of believers here in the ballpark, certainly today, with the Dodgers leading 13-2. Right-hander Houston Street. The believers 41,474. Dodgers will be going out on the road. A lot of folks saying sorry they have to go. They will have won 29 of the last 38 games played here. That's remarkable going back to last year. Houston Street has had Jimenez, Belisle, Rush, and Corpus precede him to the mound. For Street in 6 games and an out of sight earned run average the wrong way. Earned run average coming in 9.8. So Street, who did very well with Oakland and came to Colorado in the Matt Holliday deal, now facing Matt Kemp, who has struck out, doubled, hit a grand slam home run, hit into a double play, and made a circus catch in center field. Ball one. Dodgers trying to sweep Colorado, having swept the Giants in a 3-game series at Dodger Stadium. No easy trick. Off the plate. 2 balls and no strikes. Blake DeWitt hits in Casey Blake's spot. So DeWitt on deck. Two and 0. Fastball. Last time the Dodgers swept a 3-game series against Colorado here, almost an anniversary. Last year in April, they had a 3-game sweep. They're doing it now on the 19th of April. Last year, April 25, 26, and 27. Three and one. And a high fly ball to center. Fowler gone back. Watch him. Let's go out. Matt's hit another. 2 more home runs given up by the Colorado bullpen. That's 11 home runs the bullpen has given up in the 11 games the Rockies have played. That's unbelievable. Now, if you said, well, it's Coors Field, you'd say, okay, but it's happening on the road. So Matt just all over this pitch, and Dexter Fowler knew it right away. As soon as he squares onto that ball, it's out of here. So Kemp with 2 home runs. Last time he did that was June of 2006 against, altogether, Colorado, but that was at Coors. So Matt does it here. So yesterday Manny Ramirez hit 2. Yesterday Andre Ethier hits 2. And today, for good measure, not only does Matt Kemp hit 2, one of them is a grand slam. So the Dodgers lead 14-2. Kemp kicking the point after, and Blake DeWitt at the plate. For Houston Street, with that earned run average of over 9, that's the 3rd home run he's allowed in 3 2/3 innings. Wow. Revenge will certainly be in the air when the Dodgers go to Colorado next weekend. That's a comebacker. Nice play by Houston. 1 out. Ramon Troncoso, batting 9th, will be coming up. Dodgers 14, Rockies 2, and the 9th inning coming up. Troncoso 0 for 1, struck out, rarely gets a chance to come to the plate. Rafael Furcal on deck. We repeat it, not for any sign of look out, just a constant reminder. Dodgers are going to win. Their record will be 10-3. In 2005, the Dodgers started the year 12-2. And with that great start, they finished 4th. 20 games under 500. So it's a reminder, a long, long, hot summer. 1-2. And a little delayed call. So Troncoso goes down on strikes. Rafael Furcal has been very busy as usual. Furcal has walked, doubled, singled. He has scored twice. He has driven in 1. when it was a game, he also prevented the Rockies from scoring a run on a wonderful backhand effort that was way back in the second inning. And a strike. So Tuesday from Houston, Clayton Kershaw against Russ Ortiz. Wow. So Russ Ortiz coming back with the Astros. Although it's a struggle, Ortiz has an earned run average over 6. Kershaw with an ERA of 1.5. Kershaw, Wolf, Billingsley, Ortiz, Oswalt, and Rodriguez. And then it's on to Colorado. And down goes Rafael on that low breaking ball. So the Dodgers still get one on the home run by Kemp, his second of the game. And at the end of 8, 14-2 Dodgers. Homestand sparked by Matt Kemp's great catch, and then of course Matt coming up as a hitter and a grand slam home run, one of 2 that he has hit today, one of 2 home runs. And for Matt Kemp, showing the way with a double and the 2 home runs. The Dodgers have absolutely dominated the opposition during this homestand. Look at that. Wow. And now in the 9th inning, Chris Iannetta fouled away. Jeff Baker, who bats 9th in the lineup, is on deck. So Iannetta, Baker, and then Fowler. Dodgers 14 runs on 19 hits. So Dodgers on the edge of winning their 8th in a row. Last August into September, they had an 8-game winning streak. Without a doubt, the Dodgers' 8-game streak is the longest in the major leagues. If you go back to 2006, and Todd Helton would just as soon do that. If you go back to 2006, the Dodgers had an 11-game winning streak from late in July into August. But everywhere you look, the signs are very positive for Joe Torre and company. That sure takes the stress off a manager. 2-2. Little roller, tough play for COL with a hurried arm, gets the catcher. Might not have gotten too many, but Iannetta rolls to short, 1 away. Chris Homer in the 6th inning. Interesting, in 11 games he has 2 hits, both of them home runs. So now here's the boy from Bad Kissinger, Jeff Baker. There is a third major leaguer born in West Germany. Will Oman, Jeff Baker. You know the other one is? A former Dodger, now a Tiger. Edwin Jackson, the pitcher. Well, that'll be that from Troncoso. Good play to take care of Baker. 2 down. Omar Quintanilla will be coming up to finish this thing off. Troncoso trying to get rid of Omar.
Attention, please.
Quintanilla is 0 for 3 and has struck out 2 of the 3 at bats. So there are days like these for the Dodgers. Everything you do comes up smelling like a rose. And for the Rockies, take their licking and move on. Clint Barmas and company really pushed around here in a 3-game series. But remember, next weekend, they'll try to return the favor when they're home at Coors Field. Rockies, over the years at Coors Field, are 44-37. So not bad. 7 games above 500 every year. So they'll be a different team, you can bet. One and one. The games from Colorado Friday and Sunday on KCAL, Saturday on Prime Ticket. So we will see the Rockies again. Going to see them 15 more times. 2-1. Fouled away. Quintanilla from El Paso, Texas. 5'9", 190. Played ball at the University of Texas and first came to the Rockies in 2005. 2-2 to Omar. Foul back. So for Clint Hurdle, his team will now have lost 6 out of 7. They'll go to Arizona having won 4 and lost 7. And they will go to Arizona 5 games back of the Dodgers. Admittedly, it's awfully early to talk about that. And don't you know, the last out for the Rockies, a strikeout. Troncoso turns it in on a big day by every Dodger, but especially Matt Kemp with 2 home runs and a grand slam. So the